I call this meeting of the Alvin Independent School District to order. Let the record show that a quorum of board members is present, that this meeting has been duly called, and notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. Will you please, next on our agenda, I should say, is actually the invocation and pledge. Our invocation will be given by Trustee Roberson, and the pledges by our students that I'm sure that Ms. Rice will be introducing to us. So let's rise for the invocation, please.
Let us pray. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, thou who hast by thy might led us into the light, keep us forever in the path, we pray. Thank you, Lord, for a new day to serve you. Thank you for the service of our educators and the unwavering dedication to our students. Thank you for the commitment of these board members and their advocacy, leadership, and engagement for our community. Thank you, Father, for our superintendent, for her 3 decades of loyalty to Alvin and her faithful leadership of Alvin ISD over these past 7 years. As we commemorate the 100th anniversary of Black History Month, a commemoration that began with Carter G. Woodson and the launch of Negro History Week and later expanded to a month-long celebration, we thank you for the trailblazers who have paved the way. Father God, we thank you for the change agents in the classroom, such as Delbert Nichols and Wilma Mock, for the coaches on the court, such as Tyrone Green and Latasha Mead-Shaw Giles, for our leaders such as Dr. Flowers and Mrs. Hicks, and for leaders such as Albert Johnson III and Danielle Sweeney, who continue to serve as exemplars of excellence for our community and living models of what every child can become if they simply believe. Father God, we ask not only for your guidance in the decisions we make today, but also for your forgiveness for the decisions of yesterday. Place your hand upon the hearts and let your will be done. And as we close, may we sing a song full of faith that the dark past has taught us, and may we sing, Father God, a song full of the hope that the present has brought us, and facing the rising sun of a new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. In the name of the Most High we pray. Amen.
And we have a friend here with us today, Eduardo, and he's going to tell us a little bit about himself and then lead us in the pledge. So tell him what school you go to.
So I go to Don Jeter Elementary, and I'm in 5th grade. And now join me for the pledge.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now for the Texas flag. I pledge the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Great job. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here tonight and doing the pledges.
Good job.
All right, next on our agenda is the introduction of greeters.
What you trying to say, block the door?
So, Board, we had tonight our greeters are the Alvin ISD Panthers bowling team. The Special Olympics Regional Bowling Competition was held on January 9th, 2026 in College Station, Texas. Athletes from all corners of the district competed in the competition, and we will be commending these students during the commendations. But thank you to everyone that was able to greet people at the door. Thank you very much.
Okay, moving into the agenda further is number 4, the superintendent's report.
Yes, Board, so we've had a busy month since the last time we've met. Our first announcement that we'd like to make was Alvin ISD's been named one of only 84 school districts in Texas to earn the 2025 Educational Results Partnership Honor Roll District distinction. In addition to that, 4 Alvin ISD campuses were also recognized 2025 Honor Roll schools: Nolan Ryan Junior High, Fairview Junior High, Mary Merrick Elementary, and Meridiana Elementary. The Honor Roll recognizes public schools, districts, and charter schools that outperform their peers in closing achievement gaps and advancing student success. Then next, As Trustee Roberson mentioned, this month is Black History Month, honoring our history, recognizing contributions, and encouraging learning. And throughout the month, we're focused on, through literature and through the curriculum, celebrating those that have made a significant impact on our community. And so very excited about that across our campuses. And then it is Alvin ISD Celebrate CTE Month. And as we know, we're a CTE District of Distinction. And last month, we had a great presentation by our CTE department. On Thursday, January the 15th, Alvin ISD student artists and their teachers participated in another unforgettable Alvin ISD Rodeo Art Show. Thousands of student masterpieces were on display, and we're thankful to everyone who saddled up and came out to celebrate our students' creativity. And if you missed some of it, some of them are on display. You will see at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo in the exhibit hall. Alvin ISD students celebrated the 100th day of school last week with creativity and school spirit. Perfectly timed with the district's 100-year celebration, campuses marked the milestone with 100-day activities, themed outfits, and plenty of laughs as students dressed like they were 100 years old or showed off their favorite 100-day designs. It was a joyful way to honor both 100 days of learning this school year and 100 years of excellence in Alvin ISD. Last Wednesday was National Signing Day, and the district celebrated 47 Alvin ISD student athletes who signed national letters of intent to continue their academic and athletic journeys at the next level. And one of our very own, Miss Danielle Swinney, her son, if you look at the picture down in the right-hand corner there, is her family celebrating her son and his signing. Congratulations. Then we had our Alvin ISD Spelling Bee. The winner was Matthew Johnston from Meridiana Elementary, and the runner-up was Liz Villegas from York Elementary. After 7 rounds of competition, Alvin ISD crowned its district spelling bee champion. He secured the title by correctly spelling the word archetype. Did I say that right? Okay, close your eyes and spell it. Liz, a 5th grader from York, earned the runner-up spot. Both of these students will be commended in March, and thank you to trustees who attended as well. And then upcoming event that we always enjoy is our annual turtle race, our 5K and 1K fun run. So you can buy your turtles now online. You can sign up for the fun run. It will be held Saturday, February the 21st at the Meridiana Adventure Cove on Meridiana Parkway. So turtles are only $5 each, but you can buy more than one, and we have a lot of great prizes for students that would interest them. And then also with the fun run, you get a t-shirt. And then also we are celebrating counselors this month, and our counselors are so important to us each and every day, and they help us not only in crisis, but each day. They work with our student and also with our staff. So thank you to our counselors for everything that you do each and every day for our staff. And next is our video, monthly video, designed and produced by Philip Jean.
Chapter 6, 1975 to 1985. The world was changing fast. The silver screen was bigger, video games were taking hold, and cable TV would soon be beaming new ideas into homes across America. From Jaws to Star Wars, from the launch of CNN to the rise of ESPN, American culture was entering a bold new age. And right here at Alvin ISD, students were growing up with front row seats to history while building a future of their own. The district continued to expand to meet the needs of its growing population. In 1977, as Star Wars dazzled on the big screen, another star was quietly rising in Alvin ISD.
We came because special needs teachers were in demand, and so I got a job in the area of special education. We taught at Alvin Junior High. When Harvey was built, we built our home out in the Heights, and we got to open the doors of Harvey Junior High.
Belle Sanchez's devotion would span 34 years, making her one of the district's most influential educators. Today, Belle Sanchez Elementary stands as a tribute to her heart, her service, and her legacy. In 1977, 400 Alvin High School students walked across the graduation stage, and voters would go to the polls to approve another set of school bonds totaling close to $19 million to help expand the district. In 1979, as progress continued on the building of new schools, the Alvin area would be hit with record flooding, most of it coming from Claudette. The tropical storm would drop a record 43 inches in one 24-hour period. Despite the catastrophic flooding, 2 new schools would open their doors: Alvin Primary and Disney Elementary, named for the beloved children's storyteller, Walt Disney. With the magic of imagination and the promise of early education, a new chapter in learning had begun. Meanwhile, that same year, the district honored a local leader in Manville by naming the new elementary school after E.C. Mason, the former Manville superintendent who helped lay the foundation for generations of learners. Alvin's second junior high school would open in 1981, named after one of Alvin's most beloved educators, Grace Ward Harvey. For decades, Harvey inspired students with compassion and strength. Her name now lives on in a school built to prepare future generations for success. While enrollment grew and the district built new schools, plenty was happening on the world stage, like John Travolta taking center stage with his dance moves as a fever for disco grew. Political upheaval would hit the Middle East, causing gas shortages at the pump in Alvin and the rest of the country. The news of Iran's change of regime came front and center on ABC's Nightline, with Iranian radicals seizing 52 hostages from the American embassy. That crisis would end on the same day Ronald Reagan would become the next U.S. president. In March of 1981, an assassination attempt on President Reagan played out across the TV, with some students getting to witness that history in the classroom. NASA reached for the stars with its new shuttle program as the Columbia successfully launched in April 1981. The Cold War came to a head in the 1980 Winter Olympics when an underdog U.S. hockey team defeated the mighty Soviet Union in what would become known as the Miracle on Ice. That same spirit of determination was alive in the hallways of Alvin ISD, where students started learning about floppy disks and what computers could do. An ever-changing world was steadily embracing technology, and students had a front row seat to experience it all.
Thank you.
Guests this evening, we do have some additional chairs on this side of the room if you'd like to take a seat, just to let you know if you don't want to stand up. Okay, next on our agenda is the commendations that are going to be presented by Trustees Sweeney and Johnson.
Welcome, everyone. We're very glad that you're here today with us. Good evening, board and guests. We have some very special accommodations today. So when I call your name, students, please come up and receive your commendation. And then also we will invite their teachers to come up with them as well. Once we get everybody up, we'll get a big picture. Parents, you're welcome to step in the aisle and take a picture if you would like, or stand up, or whatever you need to do, because this is your child's moment to shine. So we would love to have them recognized.
Please don't be shy.
No, exactly. So today we're going to recognize the All-State Band and Choir. So the Texas Music Educators Association, which is TMEA, sponsors the Texas All-State audition process to recognize students' dedication to musical excellence and to support educators in developing high-level musicmanship. Each fall, more than 70,000 high school students across Texas audition at the TMEA regional level by performing select music for a panel of judges. Top-ranked musicians advance to the TMEA area auditions, where they compete with students from other regions. The highest scoring students at the area level earn the opportunity to perform in one of 18 Texas all-state ensembles representing the band, orchestra, and vocal divisions. This year, Alvin ISD is proud to have 12 students earn the distinction of Texas All-State Musician. Let's wish them luck. Yes. Luck as they head to San Antonio for the TMEA All-State Performance tomorrow. So they will be ready to get out of here, I'm sure, shortly, but we are super proud of you. So when I call your name, please come up. We have Eleanor Flores with Alvin High School. Riley Johnson with Alvin High School Choir. Both of those are choir. Juan Cano with Alvin High School Choir. Rill Anderson with Manville High School Choir. Isaac Serrano with Manville High School Band. Olivia Matthew with Shadow Creek High School Choir. Elsa Titus with Shadow Creek High School Choir. James Williams with Shadow Creek High School Choir. Maggie Lardensable from Shadow Creek High School Band. Bill Mocker from Shadow Creek High School Band. Etten Rosales from Shadow Creek High School Band. And Gabriel Lawrence from Shadow Creek High School Band. And I also, teachers, if you'll come up with them as well, our directors, please come up. And I also hear, I also hear that there's one student that has gone above and beyond and done something really incredible. Would you like to tell us about it?
We have James Williams, who is our 4-year all-stater, and we're really proud of him.
That is amazing. For those of you that don't know, that's a really
didn't bring their
big
instruments, but the choir did. Could y'all sing?
There you go. Yes. Just a little something.
That was a really big deal to make it 4 years in a row, because 1 year is amazing. So 4 in a row, that is just outstanding. So we'll wait. This is a really special moment for them. So we want to make sure they get the photos they need.
Just to highlight, there's only 4 4-year all-staters in the history of our district, and he's one of them.
Wow. That is so awesome. Congratulations to all of you. You as well. So thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Yes.
And thank you to our directors who put in so many hours and
Yes.
days and
Thank
time
you.
with our students. Thank you, thank you.
They do an amazing job, and a lot of time is spent with them, so we thank them. Next, we have our Special Olympics bowling team. So the Special Olympics Regional Bowling Competition was held on January 9th, like we had talked about earlier. Athletes from all corners of the district competed in the competition and earned the following awards. So if I call your name, please come up. So for our gold medalist, we have Layla Shafi. Mason Scott. Dylan Green. Enrique Garcia. John Buckner. Eliberto Beto Garcia. Josh Cardell, or Joshua, I'm sorry, Joshua Cardell. And Dalton White. Our gold medalists, and we're going to keep adding to this group. So, awesome job to our gold medalists. Next, we have our silver medalist, and we have Estania, yes, Almanza. I'm so sorry about that. Abel Vasquez. Lorenzo Damian. Aiden Sandoval. Lincoln Von Bergen. And Mason Wisnowski. Those were our silver medalists. Great job. And yes, let's give them another hand. And adding to them, our bronze medalist was Grayson Almanza. And then with a fourth place ribbon, we have Magnus Chiason. Nathan Michael. And Miss Mason Taylor. Awesome job for fourth place. For fifth place ribbon, we have Patrick Courier. For sixth place, we have Solana Camacho. Last but not least, for seventh place ribbon, we have Johan Brocki. And these are our medalists and winners for the bowling tournament. Awesome job, Panthers.
Congratulations.
Let's get them situated for their photo.
Coach up here as well. Their coach, the teacher.
and their
Coach,
yes.
yep, she's up here.
What's your name again?
I'm sorry, Sarah.
Sarah Quaid, yes. Thank you so much for all that you do for our students. And students, we appreciate all that you do for us. So y'all made Alvin ISD look really good. So thank you for what you do. We'll wait just a minute until the parents get a chance to get their photos, okay? So smile real big for them. That's right. Thank you very much, boys and girls. You are welcome to have a seat if you would like, or their parents are welcome to leave. And I think she'll say that if you want to stay, you can, or if you want to leave, you're welcome to.
That is. That's it. Everybody get situated. All right, I think the air just turned on.
I know.
We knew it was a little warm, so we've got the air.
Working on it.
Yeah.
Shame on y'all.
Next on the agenda is a presentation, District Mid-Year Academic Review.
So board, this evening we'll have a summary, and this is just of the districts. It's not of specific campuses, even though the board received the full academic review in your weekly. This is just an overview of the district and where we are mid-year academically. We use this data to analyze if we're on track, if we think we're going to meet our performance objectives for the 25-26 school year by the end of the school year. We do this each year, but it also helps you'll hear from our staff this evening, but it helps us to really adjust instruction, look and see if there needs to be additional training, some tweaks to make. So it's just a really good overview, but this evening we'll be discussing the district's piece.
Nelson. Thank you for giving us the opportunity, the academics department, the opportunity this evening to come and share some data and information with you about our mid-year review. Each year at the end of the first semester, the district, as well as all campuses, pause to reflect on our academic goals and objectives in our district improvement plan as well as our campus improvement plans, to examine all the data that we have gathered thus far during the year to determine if our academic objectives in these improvement plans will be met by the end of the school year. This exercise has become a crucial factor in ensuring that student outcomes continue to improve. And it also gives the district and the campus a chance to adjust and modify their strategies to ensure that these objectives are met. The board received a complete copy of the mid-year review on last Friday, and tonight our executive directors of curriculum, Dr. Shandar Hobbs and Fulvia Shaw, would like to share highlight some of the district data in the reading and math categories. And then we will hear from 3 of our principals on how the mid-year reviews help shape their campus practices. So I'd like at this time to turn it over to Mrs. Fulvia Shaw.
Thank you, Ms. Peltier. Good evening, Board of Trustees. Good evening, Superintendent Nelson. As Ms. Peltier mentioned, we are now going to review our academic quarterly data report for our mid-year. So let's start with Performance Objective 2. The district will meet or exceed the board-approved House Bill 3, early literacy, math, and CCMR goals for all students. So the question is, are we currently on track to meet this by the end of the school year? And looking at our mid-year data, we are currently on track. So let's look at the evidence and looking at grade 3 reading and math. In looking at our grade 3 reading for STAR 2025, we were at meets and above at 60%. Our reading goal was set this year at 61%, and looking at our CBA number 1, we are at 68%. Last year, for our math STAR data, we were at 53% meets and above. Our math goal was set at 55% this year, and our CBA 1 and CBA number 2, we were at 55%. In looking at our Performance Objective 3, the district will increase the percentage of students scoring at the meets or above performance level on the Math STAR assessment compared to previous year. So are we currently on track to meet this by the end of the school year? And looking at our mid-year data, we are currently on track. So let's look at the evidence. And we'll start looking at elementary math data. As you can see in the table before you, you have 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. And you will notice that in 2024 and 2025, we had 1 CBA as compared to 2025 and 2026 where we had 2 CBAs. And looking at the data from CBA 1 from last year, we made some curriculum adjustments. And in making those curriculum adjustments in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, we added an additional CBA in the fall, which was given earlier at a time to provide teachers and campus with data much earlier. This allowed teachers to be more responsive to students needing accelerated instruction. In looking at our 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, both the meets grade level and above and the master's level grade level increased. And so here's our elementary action plan. To support our mastery of priority standards, our comprehensive action plan includes targeted instruction. This means that we have created reteach lessons and small group plans in order to support the needs of our students and our teachers. We also have continuous reinforcement. We are calendaring out when are we teaching these priority standards. Therefore, we have created spiral reviews And we've also developed custom Imagine Math pathways, again, to support the needs of our teachers and our students. In our action plans, you'll also see reassessments. Our priority standards will be reassessed using the TEA digital platform, which is called a Texas Formative Assessment Resource, and teachers know it as TFAR. We have accountability embedded in our action plan. That means we are tracking mastery consistently at the district and campus level, making sure that we have checkpoints all along the way to ensure that we stay on track to meeting our goal. We have curriculum revisions. We're consistently revising our curriculum based on our recent data and the needs of our student. Support and coaching. Our curriculum coordinators, who are the rock stars of our curriculum department, they will continue to provide ongoing campus support through learning walks by providing feedback to principals and instructional coaches. And now we'll look at our secondary math data. As you can see in the table before you, you can see that our meets was consistent in 6th grade and in Algebra 1 from last year to this year. We've made significant gains in 7th and 8th grade meets. And our masters showed increases in 7th and 8th grade, but we dropped in Algebra 1. In looking at our secondary action plan for junior high, we have developed curriculum action plans for each of our priority standards. That includes reteaching lessons, small group lessons. We have provided assessments and professional learning to support the needs of our teachers and our students. At high school, we're ensuring that we have consistent implementation of technology-enhanced items. We're embedding them in First Teach. We're making sure they're in assessments. And we also have a unified Algebra 1 system aligned to instruction, assessments, data, and professional learning community practices for equitable student support. At both the junior high and at the high school, we're heavily focused on using the analysis of student thinking to identify misconceptions and drive instruction and interventions. We're also supporting our principals. We're supporting our principals how to monitor implementation of action plans by using defined look-fors. As you can see from our data, we know that our instructional coaches, who are the pillar of our content, are working diligently to improve student performance, along with our teachers who are working hard to ensure that learning is happening each and every day. And now I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Hobbs, who will go over the RLA section.
Good evening, Board and Superintendent Nelson. Thank you for this opportunity to share the wonderful things that our teachers and our students are doing right now in the world of reading and language arts. So our performance objective 4 says district will increase the percentage of students that show growth on the reading language arts STAR assessment compared to the previous year. And based on our mid-year data, we are on track to meet that goal. The data we are bringing to you is from the fall semester. I will tell you that we are right now in the middle of interim testing, so we will have new data in the next 2 weeks. So we will continue with the action plan we have in place and make any adjustments based on that data as well. I will just show you a quick graph of what we are currently doing. As you can see, in all areas except from our growth from 4th to 5th grade, we've made significant gains. From 4th to 5th grade, we've maintained where we were. I will tell you that specific group of students we've been watching since kindergarten, and we continue to close some gaps. It's taken us a little bit, so we've got our eyes on them very closely right now. In 8th to 9th grade, there was no comparable data because 8th grade data would be a reading and writing combined test. In 9th and 10th grade, we use just a writing assessment, but as you can see, our 10th graders continue to make large gains. I do need to point out to you, based on House Bill 2, I have to let you know at the beginning, middle, and end of year when our kindergartners are tested, how many of them are on track. You may not remember, but we had 57% of them were on track to be successful in kindergarten in the fall, and we are happy to present to you that 73% of them are on track at this time. So we are very excited about the curriculum changes and moves that we are able to make in kindergarten this year. So our action plan for our Reading and Language Arts crew is to continue to make curriculum updates. As we talk about every time you hear us, we're so blessed to have a responsive curriculum that's built in-house, and we're able to make those changes quickly and effectively based on the needs of our students and on the needs of our teachers. This Friday, we will have all of our teachers for our Professional Learning Day across the district, and that is what we call our curriculum previews. Everyone will have access to some new lessons that have been added into the curriculum based on the data we're collecting right now with interim testing happening. And then all of our teachers who teach writing will have writing calibration so that we can ensure that we're holding all of our students accountable to the same expectations for writing across the district. These are just really incredibly important days for our teachers. We learn a lot about our students, about writing, and they're able to make very specific action plans to go back to our campus. So we're continually thankful for the support of all of those who put the calendar together to have that time built in for our teachers. Our elementary crew will continue to use iReady as a resource. We continue to see a lot of growth with the use of iReady as a supplement to help support the new question types that are on STAR. It supports engaging students in a little bit more interactive reading practice, and so that will continue to help. We also this year have built in new unit assessments, so we have smaller checkpoints for data. So we're very excited to continue to see how those impact what's happening in the classroom, gives teachers an opportunity to make smaller adjustments and very shorter cycles of time so that we're not just waiting for the big district assessments. Our kind of maybe motto, what we're leaning on right now in RLA is we spend a lot of time planning, so we want to make sure that what's planned is taught, and what's taught is assessed, and what is assessed is monitored. And we feel like if we stick true to that, that our teachers will continue to be successful because they have the tools they need in the classroom, and our students will show that success based on that. And then we continue to help with Fulvia and I, with our department, with school improvement. And that comes down to our continued support of our year-long learning for professional learning communities. We do like to say we do it the Alvin ISD way. We've taken a very well-researched practice and taken it to our district and the way that it needs to be done here. And so through lots of work with our principals, lots of work with our instructional coaches and our curriculum coordinators, we feel like we've really been able to implement some really great practices that'll be long-lasting practices on our campuses, because we're in a place where they can't do business without PLCs. And so that's a way for them to really know our students, to really know our data, and make those quick adjustments. We continue to built into our instructional coaches, and we're thankful for that we have that model. We know many people around us don't, and the fact that they're able to get the knowledge and expertise that they need from learning together and then take that to their campus and really support teachers on that level. We know that that's hugely impactful in the work that we do. We continue to monitor data very frequently, and with new checkpoints that have been put in place, that continues to help us grow. And then through our learning walks, as we work with our principals and work with our instructional coaches to align the practices across the district to ensure equity for all students. And then practice we brought to you last year that we continued this year, and we're thankful that we're in year 2 of it because we continue to see growth with that, is our priority campus support. So we've taken that to the next level, we feel like, this year, and really make sure that we're building those relationships with our priority campuses, that we're setting small mini goals and action plans with them. And so we are very grateful to have some of our principals come tonight to be able to share with you about their mid-year review and their priority campus work. So I have the distinct pleasure of introducing Ms. Bridget Landry to you.
Good evening, Board and Superintendent Nelson. Like Dr. Hobbs said, I'm Bridget Landry. I'm the principal at Mark Twain. The two words that I would say describe me and my leadership and what we believe on my campus is intentionality and accountability. And those two words, I believe, have led our campus to go from targeted to knocking on the door of being an A campus. And at
Knock on
this
the door.
time,
Oh, I didn't realize.
at this time of the year, we gather all of our data, and as I look at our mid-year review, I'm excited to say that we are on track this year to meet all of our goals. And so what I do is I look at where are we, what are the goals that we have set as a campus, that I've set as a principal, and even though we're on track, that doesn't mean we're stopping what we're doing. And it doesn't mean that there's not an intentional plan moving forward for the rest of the year. Because though we're on track, there's still areas that we need some refinement and need some growth to ensure our students are growing at the same rate as they should be in closing those gaps. So with that data, we're very intentional about what our PLCs look like. We're making sure that we're talking about those high tested standards, really looking at what are our students missing, and that goes into planning, and then we have intervention. And so we use this data to be intentional about which students are getting the intervention based on their need. The accountability piece rolls in with myself and my assistant principal, Ms. Hernandez. So we have expectations for our teachers, and that accountability piece looks like being in classrooms, attending PLCs, and doing those data checkpoints to make sure we are on track. And finally, Dr. Hobbs is my priority person. She's been my priority person for the last 2 years. I'm very grateful for the impact that she's had, not just with me, but on my campus. My campus knows her, my students know her. She is around and partnering with me. And so what I like the most about what we get to do together is when we sit down, I update her on the new data, I update her on what I've seen in classrooms, what's happening in PLCs, and she's the first to celebrate with me the exciting things. But we really look at what are those areas of need that I can sometimes get wrapped up as a principal in the trees, and she's really good about helping me see the forest. And so we walk classrooms, we go to PLCs, we come back and debrief, and we're very intentional with where we go. And then we set commitments, and she holds me accountable. And so making sure that that is what I'm doing is what's happening, and I'm excited because I really believe those two, intentionality and accountability, are leading to some great things on our campus. Next up is Miss Rios from Bilhassie Elementary.
Good evening, Board and Superintendent Nelson. So my name is Victoria Rios, and I have the pleasure of being the principal at Bilhassie Elementary, and we, as well as Mark Twain, are no longer a targeted campus, and we're definitely moving in the right direction. And so two of the things that we constantly are talking about is we have been very targeted and relentless. And so we are targeted on the expectations for every single one of our students. And so our mid-year review is one of our opportunities that we come back, and we're always constantly checking in on the needs of our students. And so Fulvia Shaw always has a saying that I always stick to, and she says, keep the main thing the main thing. And our mid-year review definitely helps us to keep the main thing and that constant continuous improvement cycle. And so we also focus in on planning with our instructional coaches. And so every single week, every single one of our grade levels, kinder through fifth grade, meets with their instructional coach, and they go through the curriculum. So even we have split classes where they might have 2, sometimes they might have 3 sections. And so they need to be super intentional because my first section might not have the same needs as my second section. And so as they're planning with their coaches, they're looking at the specific needs of those classrooms for that direct Tier 1 instruction. We do meet with weekly PLCs with Fidelity, so we never cancel a PLC. We make sure that we're collaborating as a professional learning community. Our teachers are constantly analyzing data. We look at high priority frequency TEKs. So we want to make sure that we're looking at those high priority TEKs in order to make the biggest gains for our students. They bring data, they bring work samples, they're constantly looking at that. We look at every individual student every single week. That leads to our intervention time, because for our PLCs, we really focus in on what we're going to do for that 45-minute built-in intervention time that they have 4 days a week. And so we look to see, is it a reading need, is it a math need, and we do that as much as we can on instant data, right? So we want to make sure that we turn around that data as soon as we get it. And so that's something that we also do with Fidelity. We hyper focus on, like I said, every single student has it, whether they're reading or math. We have enrichment groups as well. And so that's something that we make sure that we do. So you can see the picture there. We have our goals in that yellow poster. So we do those goals at the very beginning of our school year, every single school year, because that's, again, is what drives us throughout the year, and we revisit those. So mid-year review is a great chance for us to revisit those as well. And sometimes we need to adjust and set the bar higher. And if we're not meeting that goal, which does happen, what do we need to do? We pivot, we plan intervention groups. My instructional coaches are pulling groups right now. We have after-school tutoring, whatever needed adjustments that we need. Our mid-year review also helps with that. And so data checkpoints, we're constantly, continuously throughout the whole entire school year are always looking at data and our needs. And along with my pop person. So my priority is Dr. Aniqua Flowers, and I've been super blessed to have her for 2 years. She is, I will tell you, she's my biggest cheerleader, right? She's my whole entire campus's cheerleader. She's gone to plannings with us. She's in PLCs, several PLCs. We go to classroom walks in all classrooms, pre-K through 5th grade. And so she helps me to continue to be a great instructional leader, and she helps to give me feedback that I need in order to help to set goals for my teachers too, and so that way we're constantly, again, continuous improvement. And so thank you so much for allowing me to talk. And now we have Mr. Robert Ford from Alvin High School.
Good evening, Board of Trustees and Superintendent Nelson. Thank y'all for the time. I'm proud to stand up here and talk a little bit about Alvin High School for a moment. Go Jackets. So one thing that I just kind of want to start off with, they were talking about mottos and intentionality, and that's something that we want to do. But coming to Alvin High School and I have some people from Alvin Junior High here. I know they're here. I wasn't expecting them here, but I was at Alvin Junior High for a while. And talking about creating systems that are intentional, creating systems that work, creating systems that are great for the student, right? And so one of the things at Alvin High School for us was putting systems into place that are good for our kids, that are good for our students. And so the first thing we do when we talk about the mid-year review is at the beginning of the year, which was talked about earlier, is we set goals. All right, we set goals through our CIP, and we constantly look at those goals throughout the year. And a lot of times, even before the mid-year review, when we're looking at common formative assessments, different things, we are looking at where we're at with our goals. But when it comes to the mid-year review, the mid-year review helps us make those adjustments. They help us make those adjustments that we need to do to be intentional for our students. It's all about our students at every campus, but at Alvin High School, how can we tailor it to our students to make sure that they're successful? All right, so we do that by tracking our students. And you'll notice up here I put a data wall. So at Alvin High School this year, we have a data wall where we track each individual student in our classrooms. In a room that's closed off, no student can see this, but all of our students' assessments are on these cards, and we move these cards after assessments to see where they're at. Right? We use that so teachers have real data and actually can see where their students are in class, so we can go to PLCs and analyze that work. So one of the things we do, even with the mid-year review, is we analyze their work. We analyze their tests. What were they missing? What TEKs were they struggling on? And how can we go back and reteach that? So we reflect and we become very targeted in our work and what we do in the classrooms. And an important piece in our PLCs, just like was said earlier, is the collaboration not among myself and our teachers, but our instructional coaches are a vital piece of that. Why? Is because they come in, they bring in new instructional strategies. They also come in and they model different ways that we can teach, the content, which is great for our teachers. It's one of those things where you get in there and how do I reach this kid? Well, we have so many great minds in a PLC. That's where we can talk about, hey, I did it this way. It worked. Why don't you try it? And then they're able to model that. So it's perfect within our PLCs. We also use the mid-year review when it comes to intervention. At all high schools and at Alvin High School, we have a WOW intervention class period on Wednesdays. So we're very intentional with that, especially when it comes to our mid-year review. All right, reason why is we take that data from our semester exams, we look and see what TEKS that they struggled on, and we group those kids and strategically put them with teachers within that group. And during this time, they're working on the skills to get better, to grow. I mean, basically, we want our kids to grow. We also use the mid-year review to create small groups within the classroom. All of our teachers at Alvin High School, they look at their CFAs, Common Formative Assessments. They look at the data of their students, and they form groups to work with when other students may be working on individual work to kind of hone in on those skills. We use it for tutoring, and we use it to, again, just so we know what power standards do we need to make sure that we hit for those kiddos to make sure they're successful. The mid-year review helps us there because we have real live data to see where those students were at. Another important part for us in the mid-year review, not only that, but also just general, as I am too, we're part of the priority school, and my priority person is Dr. Hawks. And I can't say nothing but wonderful things about how she's inclusive within our campus. She knows our data. I'm gonna be honest. Sometimes I'm a little embarrassed to say this, but sometimes she knows it before I know it. And she comes in and she walks through our PLC. She does classrooms walks with us, provides feedback. She provides valuable input to not only to my campus but to my team, and it helps us make decisions on those processes that we need to make to ensure that our students are successful. One thing that like I always talk about in our PLCs, it's never too late. It's never too late. If a kid is struggling, there's always ways that we can adjust and ensure that they're successful. And so it's great to be able to have the support, not only on the campus side, but from the district and leading our campus to be successful. Because just like everybody else here, we're striving to be an A. We're going to be an A, and we're going to do it this way. Thank you for the opportunity to talk at this time. Do I have any questions?
Well,
thank you for your support. Questions?
Thank you. Since you want to stand there, I'll ask a few. I heard PLC across the board. Who trains the trainer? Is it all in-house? Is it Solutions Tree? Who trains the trainers and then trickle it down to the individual teachers?
Dr. Hobbs, you want to, yeah. Solution Tree is who we use, but go ahead, Dr. Hobbs, you want to.
We started with Solution Tree training in the district probably 7 years ago, I believe, and we realized that it wasn't getting down to the level of the campus, and so we brought it back together and started very small, and really, if we're being really honest, we've taken the Learning by Doing book from Solution Tree and did a few pages out of the chapter, and we work with that with our leadership team, and then we work with it with our curriculum coordinators, with our principals, and with our assistant principals. So we've just taken really small, bite-sized chunks after looking at the big picture and saying, if we wanted to say Alvin ISD is a PLC district, these are the 5 things they need to do. And so we've just gone really slow and tried to get really good at one of those this year, and we'll add something new next year.
Well, and several of our leaders have gone to Solution Tree for training as well.
We've brought them here.
We've brought them here for,
It's hard when it's a one and done, right?
Right.
It's one and done training, and so we really have to integrate it into everything that we do.
Trust me, it's better to bring them here. When you go there, you come back with 20 books, and it gets expensive. How many priority campuses do we have in the district?
everyone. So it's either a priority 1, 2, 3, or 4, and it's based upon their data. Yeah, and so it depends upon the support And I think we shared that back when we talked about when Mr. Shaw, when we did something in August, I believe. But it has like, if they're a priority 1 school, they get more visits. They get a lot more support versus a priority 4 school. But then we can adjust that throughout the year as well if needed.
Outstanding. Well, first it was 2 questions, but now it's a few comments. Thank you for the turnaround work that you're doing on your campuses. I appreciate continuing to hear continuous improvement. And I think one of those words should have been relentless, because your approach and what you're doing is truly relentless. And I appreciate what you're doing for each and every kid every day. So thank y'all.
Are there any other comments or questions from any of the other board members?
I do. Oh.
Yes.
So a couple things I heard. I heard goals across the board. I heard planning. I heard execution. I heard feedback. And don't quote me on this, but I heard mid-year review 24 times across. Right? So executing, leveraging the tools, but also seeing the consistency across what those tools are doing for us. You guys know the POP is near and dear to me, so I'm excited that you guys were able to share, and we were able to hear from principals who were at high priority schools, and to really walk that out. I have to commend the 2 words I wrote, excitement and engagement, from the elementary principals. I was like, boy, you can really tell they're working with those little ones. Woo! So that was really exciting to see. And I love to see how the mid-year, you guys were able to walk it out and share the same tool, but how it's utilized at different campus levels. This is how it shows up at the elementary level. This is how it shows up at the high school level, yet it's still effective. And then last but not least, I'm super excited about the Professional Learning Day that you guys have upcoming. You guys know I'm always talking about data and comparative data, but you guys did a phenomenal job walking that out and really sharing that comprehensively with us, so I don't have to. Right? But what I will say is keep it fun. Keep it exciting. So when I talk about the Professional Learning Day, how do we keep everybody excited and engaged to really, take the information that you guys have back to their schools, their students, and really achieve what it sounds like you guys desire to do. Awesome job.
Let's see one more thing. When I was noticing the data, do y'all think adding the 2 CBAs made a big difference? Because the jumps are massive. So I was just curious from the principals, how have y'all felt about that?
Yeah, for sure, because I think it gave us, especially when we did the first one, it gave us new data in order to hyper-focus in on. And so, again, we use that in order to create our intervention groups, create our checkpoints. Anything that we felt that we needed to pivot, we were able to do that sooner than.
Yeah, because y'all did the CBA pretty early on, the first one, right? I heard it in my home from my daughter. So that's why I was, so that's good, because I saw big jumps in now going to the 2 CBA. So thank you guys for what you do every day. I mean, I know it's not easy, with ever-changing climate across the state and things like that, but thank y'all for what you do and the hard work that y'all do every single day.
Just to tag on to that, hearing the words pivot and adjust to ensure success, I really appreciate that, because that tells me that, our staff recognize that every classroom is different and every child is different, and the way that they learn change is different. And so to know that that is happening, that's wonderful. Thank y'all for everything that you do and your dedication to the students.
Real quick, I know I particularly have challenged, this area, at least from my position over the past few years, and I know it's been challenging for us, not y'all, for us, because we're in this with y'all. And I can tell you, the language you are using is different. I can feel it, and I can see it in the results. So I encourage you to keep doing it, intentional and pivoting and challenging, right, and accountability. All of those things matter. You got to speak life into the people around you and the children that we're leading every day. Trustee Humbird and Sweeney and I were at the grassroots meeting for Region 4 last week, and one of the things I brought up was local control. And us adding those extra CBAs are things that we're going to be fighting for in the next legislative session. We're here for a reason, because we know what the students in Alvin ISD need, and it may be different from neighboring districts, but it's no fun when someone else is shopping for the groceries and they ask you all to cook dinner. You know what I mean? And so we're going to try to continue to fight for that, so you guys can continue to be great at what some of y'all will get that on the ride home. They're moving the goalposts on us, all right?
It's okay.
It's just
We
all right. Some of y'all will get
understand.
that.
Understand what you meant.
It's that we understand
All right.
what you meant.
You got me, coach. Yeah. But I can hear it. You know, we can hear it, and we see it in the results. And so, keep doing it. Just kudos to you all. Keep doing it. Keep doing it because it's making a difference. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your presentation. All right, moving into agenda item number 7, that is open forum, and we have a couple of them. So we are now in the open forum portion of the agenda. If you would like to address the board, you should have completed the public participation form and submitted it to the superintendent secretary prior to the meeting, according to policy BED local. After I call your name, please come up to the podium and state your name, address, and the purpose for addressing the board. Please understand that you will have 3 minutes to speak. If a translator is needed, you will be given 6 minutes to speak. I ask that you also understand that the board cannot take action on your request or comment at this time. However, the president or designee may refer the request to the superintendent for review. Just also as a pointer, I believe on this screen over here, there is a clock, if I'm not mistaken, just to let the participants know. So the first person up tonight is Monica Morgan. Or as I know you, Monica Martinez. You still answer to that?
Good evening, Board and Superintendent Nelson. My name is Monica Morgan. I am a resident at 2760 County Road 94, apartment 8102, Pearland, Texas, 77584. And I'm here tonight to talk a little bit about voting. So we have a May election coming up, and if you don't know, I've been very involved in Brazoria County elections for the last 20 years. I've served as a judge for 10 years, and I've seen all the elections, both the general elections, the May local elections, and a lot of times residents get confused because the May elections have very different voting hours than the primary or the general elections, and it doesn't always sit well with them because if you have seen the posted voting hours for the May election where the trustees will be elected, the early voting hours are 8 to 5 the first week, 8 to 5 on Saturday, and then 8 to 5 the second week, the few days that are available. And then election day on that next Saturday is 7 to 7. So for working residents, it's very difficult to get to the vote centers in that 8 to 5 time frame because they either are leaving for work at 6:30 or 7, getting back at 6. It's impossible for them to get to the vote centers. And it's a catch-22 because I do work with the elections office on the other elections, securing locations and doing things like that. And because they say the joint May election is the school district. It's also the cities, municipalities of mud boards. Different municipalities run their elections during the May election. It is a collective, a joint election of all of them to fund the vote centers and pay the workers and do things like that. And so there's a charge to it. But in the past, when Alvin ISD had a bond that they wanted, they would put vote centers at the schools, at the parents' nights, at the volleyball games to make sure that people had this extra opportunity to vote for something that was very important to the school district, and it was very successful, yes. So what we're asking isn't to do anything miraculous, but to consider during the May election so that more Alvin ISD residents can participate, and they do want to participate. They trust y'all. They do want to select who sits on this board. Y'all had the opportunity to set the November bond in 2024 on the November general election. And yes, it was a presidential, but there's about 95,000 voters in the Alvin ISD school district. 60,000 voted for that bond and it passed, which was great. That's fantastic. But that was 60,000 people. Oh, so my ask is extend the hours. You can do it. Extend the locations. Please offer a school location if that's at all possible on a Saturday when there's no school. But so that was my ask. I'm sorry, I ran out of time. But so that's the ask. Extend the hours, extend the locations, something like that. Thank you, so sorry.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, the next public participation form that I have is for Raul, and I am going to probably not say the name correctly. It's Yzquiendo. How do you say it? Okay, thank you. Yes, sir.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Raul Izquierdo. Like you took Spanish, means left, just really simple. I'm here, I live at 3148 County Road 536A, just outside the city limits in the Heights area. And I'm here to represent the National School Chaplains Association. In June of 2023, Governor Abbott signed into law allowing chaplains into the public and charter school districts. And this is to provide not only just to provide for support services and programs for the students in conjunction with the school district's programs and goals. So I'm going to give you some of the results, and that's after a 2-year program of chaplains within the school districts. And on the positive side, there was a 37% increase in graduations in the high schools. There's an 80% decrease in teen pregnancy and 0 report of suicides. Decreased was alcohol and drug consumption, discipline issues, school violence, and bullying. That's just on the student side. Now, the program is established or made not only for the students, but also for the faculty, for the teachers and the staff. Because we know that, I'm listening to all the programs and the goals and what's going on with the high schools, and that's a lot for the teachers and a lot of pressure. And not only do they have pressure at school, at work, they have pressure at home. They have marriage issues, they have financial issues, maybe they have elderly parents they have to deal with, and so that's what we're there for. We're ears. I need to make something very clear that we're not there to replace anybody. And you guys mentioned that earlier during this meeting. You're proud of your counselors. Yes, you should be proud of your counselors, but we're in addition to. That's what it is. We're in addition to. Speak to your police officers and ask them in each campus, what's the gang activity? Because I can tell you right now, they're there. How many teen pregnancies in each campus? What's the discipline issues that these teachers have to deal with constant disruptions for some of these kids? I know you have a disciplinary or alternative campus, but it's a cycle. I used to work at one of those. It's a cycle, constant cycle. We're the opportunity where we can stop, set aside and says, okay, let's talk. Just make some different choices, positive choices. So that's what we're here for. We're just an opportunity. And one thing I do want to say that once the bill was implemented, the funding is also provided through that law. So it's state funded. So all I'm asking is an opportunity. Choose a school. Give us a year, a year and a half, maybe 2 years if we can. But just give us an opportunity to help. That's all we want to do is help. So thank you.
Thank you.
Religion has no place in the school. None. No religion.
I'm not saying anything about religion.
Thank you.
Thank you very
I'm not
much.
saying anything about religion.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next public participation form is for Shanteria Jackson. I hope I said your first name correctly. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Shanteria Jackson. I reside at 5324 Cascade Court. I am here on behalf of myself and my family. Thank you all for the opportunity to speak. I am a parent of a 6th grade student who attended Harvey Junior High after feeding in from Mark Twain Elementary. In 2022, our family purchased a home in this district, expecting a safe, inclusive, and supportive learning environment. Unfortunately, we did not realize how heavily the experience would depend on where within the district we lived. Since enrolling, our experience raised serious concerns. My daughter was subjected to racially charged name calling, including being called a brownie and a monkey by her peers. Although these incidents were serious, the response was insufficient. Additionally, when I raised concern with a teacher regarding bullying from another student, my child was questioned, then reprimanded for her response by that same teacher. This discouraged communication and reinforced the idea that seeking adult support could result in consequences. We found that whether my daughter spoke up, asked questions, or remained quiet, she was often reprimanded. Beyond peer interactions, my daughter was questioned by an educator about our family structure in a manner that felt inappropriate and unnecessary. Academically, communication was also lacking. Teachers frequently enter grades at the last minute, limiting parent communication and preventing students from correcting mistakes. School should be a place where students are allowed to learn, reflect, and grow. Therefore, there should be a standard and accountability for grades. As a former educator with a master's degree in educational leadership, I sought collaboration. Instead, I was often ignored, met with hostility, or provided unclear and outdated information. In many cases, the lack of clear communication caused issues in which the punishments typically did not fit the offense, creating a disciplinary environment that felt punitive rather than corrective. Taken together, these issues point to broader concerns around cultural awareness, communication, and accountability in a district undergoing demographic change. As of last week, and in the best interest of my child's well-being, my daughter has been withdrawn from Harvey Junior High. I encourage the board to review withdrawal data within this feeder pattern as trends may be telling. This is unfortunate because as a taxpayer, I believe families deserve meaningful access to intra-district enrollment options. Texas is a choice state, and families should have options when campuses fail to meet students' needs. We are not asking for special treatment, only equity, transparency, and partnership. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. The next public participation forum is for Ashley Doberstein. Did I say your last name correctly?
Almost. It's okay.
Say it.
Doberstein.
Doberstein, thank you.
Oh, all right. So members of the board, my name's Ashley Doberstein. I live at 303 North Ormsby Street, Alvin, Texas. I have 3 children at Alvin ISD, one in elementary, one in junior high, one in high school. I'm here tonight not to debate politics, but to ask a very simple and very serious question. Why does our district have no clear policy to protect our students if ICE comes to our campuses? Last week, students in this district protested and were punished for exercising their First Amendment rights. Yet this same board proudly last month showed legacy videos of student protests back in the 1970s, students demanding change, courageously speaking up, and those moments were celebrated by you as civic engagement. So I ask, why are today's students being punished for the same thing? I was specifically told last week that they are using social media videos to target children who actively protested. Teachers are rewarding those who didn't protest. These protests are not going away. There's more scheduled. I understand truancy laws. I'm not here to argue about that. I understand the pressure that the schools are under from the state. What I do not understand is why Alvin ISD has chosen to remain neutral while students and families are terrified, and while there is no written policy to guide staff, protect students, or inform parents if ICE comes to a school. I know that you can't make laws, but you can make policies. We already have protocols for lockdowns. We receive texts, alerts, emails when there is a threat near a campus. So why is that same communication suddenly off the table when it involves ICE? Why is this the one situation where parents are told they should not be informed because it might cause fear, when that fear already exists in our schools? We just said the Pledge of Allegiance, liberty and justice for all, right? Our children say it every day. If students are old enough to practice hiding from an active shooter, planning exit routes, rehearsing the worst-case scenarios, then they're old enough to recognize injustice. I understand the truancy. Protests should be truant, that's it. Protest is civics in real time. Legally, regardless of immigration status, all children have the right to public education. School should not be a place where students fear being separated from their families. I've heard directly from many students who are being punished more than others, who are afraid to come to school, who are experiencing bullying. When fear increases, mental health, attendance, and grades all suffer. Immigration policy does not belong in our classroom, but safety absolutely does. I have been asking this district for answers since December of 2025. I received no response until yesterday when I signed up to speak publicly. And the answer I finally received from the safety director was this: Alvin ISD will comply with ICE, and parents will only be notified if their child is taken. Think about what that means. We've all seen the footage. That means that parents may receive their first notice after their child has already been removed. We know how these encounters are happening. We all see it. Our children see it. Telling parents that after the fact is safety is...
Go ahead and wrap it up, just real quick.
I lost my spot, I'm sorry. Telling parents after the fact is not safety, it's damage control. Standing with families before something happens is safety. You say that a public plan might cause fear, but fear already exists. Silence has created it, a lack of policy has created it, and choosing not to act shows students and families exactly where we stand.
Thank you.
I'm asking you
Appreciate
tonight to stand with us, protect our students, protect our dignity, protect their right to feel safe at school. Our children are not a liability, they are our future, and the decisions you make or refuse to make will determine whether a school is a place of protection or a place of fear. Give us a
Thank you, Ms.
plan,
Doberstein.
transparency, and stand with your community.
Thank you. The last public participation form that we have is for Derek Stinson. Is Derek here? Oh, there he is, thank you.
The board. My name is Derek Stinson. I'm the regional director for the Kickstart Kids program, who's currently serving on two of the campuses, Rodeo Palms Junior High and Manville Junior High. And I'm just wanted to come today and just say thank you for allowing us to be on the campus. The campus has a robust program now with 180 at Manville Junior and 170 at Rodeo Palms. Last year we have several components that the students can participate in. One of them is for sport, where we have roughly 20 state champions in their specific divisions. The instructors are doing such a fantastic job making an impact. The alumni program is doing very well, where they roughly have 25 students coming back to hopefully get their black belt. The reason why these numbers are so important is it's more than just kicking and punching. It's about character. We have a character education program. We're actually halfway through the year, which means we're halfway through our character education program. And the goal is to enhance a child's resiliency to avoid gangs, guns, and violence, to graduate high school, and to get a black belt. And the reason why that's important is because the same attributes that it takes to receive a black belt is the same attributes it takes to graduate college. It takes discipline, it takes self-control, it takes loyalty and honesty, and all these attributes that we're trying to build in a child. And I understand that this is not a religious institution, but I must say that train up a child in the way they should go, and when they're older, they won't depart from it. So we're targeting students in middle school to teach them things like discipline, respect, and self-control, so that we set a firm foundation under them that they will never leave, or if they do decide to go somewhere else, they have a foundation to return to. And with the support of our principals, they are fantastic. Fact, one of our old principals is now in the high school that's sitting right here, but they've been so supportive. They've been so supportive of the program. They've always willing to lend a helping hand, and you don't get better till there's a little friction to sharpen that knife, and there has been some things, but we've gotten better. The programs are very healthy, and I want to thank you all. I want to thank the principals and the parents for allowing us to teach their babies. And last, but certainly not least, with your help, we would love to expand to other schools, but so that we can stay true to the TEA overarching goal, which is no child left behind. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Green.
All right, moving on into the agenda, we're at the consent agenda action items. Going to read them out loud. Board, let me know if there's any items needing to be pulled for individual consideration, and then I'll ask Superintendent Nelson if she has any additional information before we go into the process. Request to consider approval of board minutes. Request to consider approval of contractor consultant proposals. Request to consider approval of self-certification resolution. Request to consider approval of Passmore Line remodel project. Request to consider approval of resolution authorizing Alvin ISD to submit grant application to the Office of the Governor for the Active Attack Response Equipment Grant Program, FY 2027, grant number 572-5901. Item number F, or F, is request to consider approval of resolution authorizing Alvin ISD to submit a grant application to the Office of the Governor for the Active Attack Response Equipment Grant Program, FY 2027, grant number 572-6701. G is request to consider approval of grant resolution with Alvin ISD and Communities and Schools. And then the last consent agenda item, H, is request to consider approval of instructional materials. Superintendent Nelson, is there any additional information that you need to provide? Okay. Board, are there any individual items y'all would like to pull for consideration?
Yes, item A.
A is an apple?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else? Then I will entertain a motion to approve consent agenda items B, C, D, E, F, G, and H.
I move we accept consent agenda items B through H as
Thank you.
presented.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Trustee Johnson. Okay, all in favor of approving consent agenda items B through H? Passes 7-0, thank you. So we're going to go back to A, request to consider approval of board minutes. So we need to obviously have some discussion, so I will entertain a motion to approve the request to consider board minutes.
I move to request, I move to approve the board minutes for the January meeting.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you, Trustee Sweeney. Okay, so let's go into some discussion then.
All right, it's really just a correction needed on item 3, open session, possible action from the closed session. On page 22, it says Trustee Scott made a motion to approve Superintendent Nelson's evaluation and contract as discussed in closed session. Trustee Roberson seconded the motion. The motion carried unanimously to extend the contract through 2031, but it has Trustee Selsky
Yes.
voting against, so we just need to strike that out.
So Ms. McWhorter recognized that, but she had already loaded and posted the agenda. So yes, thank you, Trustee Roberson.
So I move for the acceptance with the correction.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much
No
for
problem.
that. Okay, so we have a first and a second for that. So all in favor of approving the board minutes with the correction, all in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 7-0. All right, moving on, agenda item number 9, request to consider, request the consideration of Senate Bill 1189th Texas Legislature regarding a daily period of prayer and reading religious text.
So Board, Senate Bill 11, the 89th Texas Legislature requires each school district Board of Trustees to formally consider whether to establish a daily period of prayer and reading of religious text and to take a recorded vote on this by March the 1st, 2026. The statute does not require the adoption of such a policy, only that the board must take action either for or against. Based on a review of operational, legal, and procedural considerations associated with implementation, it is recommended not to adopt a policy establishing a daily period of prayer and reading of religious texts at this time. This would allow the district to continue operating under existing law, which permits voluntary individual religious expression.
Thank you very much. I will entertain a motion for the Board of Trustees in compliance with Senate Bill 11, the 89th Texas Legislature, not adopt a policy to establish a daily period of prayer and reading of religious text.
I move that the Board of Trustees, in compliance with Senate Bill 11, 89th Texas Legislature, not adopt a policy to establish a period of prayer and reading of religious texts.
Thank you, Trustee Garza. Is there a second? Thank you, Trustee Humbird. All right, we have a first by Trustee Garza and a second by Trustee Humbird. Is there any discussion? All right, then, hearing none, all in favor of the Board of Trustees in compliance with Senate Bill 11, the 89th Texas Legislature, not adopt a policy to establish a daily period of prayer and reading of religious text. Motion carries 7-0. Moving forward, request to consider approval of calling general trustee election and schedule election dates.
So Board, the 2026 Board of Trustee election date is Saturday, May the 2nd, 2026. Positions up for election are as follows. Position 6, currently held by Earl Humberg, and position 7, currently held by Gabe Garza.
Thank you. I will entertain a motion for the board to approve calling an election for May 2nd, 2026 for trustee positions 6 and 7 and approve the election dates, times, and locations.
Make a motion that the board approve calling an election for May 2nd, 2026 for the trustee positions 6 and 7 and approve the election dates, times, and locations.
Thank you, Trustee Johnson. Is there a second?
A second.
Thank you, Trustee Scott. So we have a first by Trustee Johnson and a second by Trustee Scott for the board to approve calling an election for May 2nd, 2026 for trustee positions 6 and 7 and approve the election dates and times and locations, I should say. Is there any discussion?
I do have a question. It kind of ties to what we heard earlier, but it aligns to the agenda item. Would the district be open to the utilization of facilities and/or campuses as long as it does not impact student learning, student safety? So a Saturday election in May or Saturday early voting. And I had a town hall last night, spoke with residents, and this has been a common theme. I live in Lakes of Savannah, the last 70 yards of our district. And once you get on the other side of 288, there's only one voting option for all of Shadow Creek, Pomona, Rodale Palms, Lakes of Savannah, and such. And it's at the library. And so that's quite a ways away when you look at the sheer number of students and families that we have. And so would the district be open to that if the clerk requested it of the district?
So we're always open to working with the county when they do reach out. I know in the past, we have, this past time that we had our bond election, we requested, could we have voting sites at our schools, and we were told no. So I don't know if that's the law now. Dr. Combs, do you know, because you worked with? Okay, the mobile voting. Okay, because of moving. So anyway, we were not allowed to. I know that we have had a voting site before at Heritage. We've had one at Lewis Lane during the presidential election. So anytime the county clerk reaches out, we work with them on that. So, but, you know, it's not our job to reach out to them. It's their job to, I mean, that's their responsibility. We're in the education business, right? But we're all about access and all of that. So it just depends on, I mean, I don't know if they've secured their sites and all. So.
We are in the business of educating kids. That's their job, but it's also a partnership that I look at. And as far as schools, in the most recent elections, or actually early voting, Hightower, which I'm literally the equal distance between Hightower and Manville High School, and they've had voting on their campus for the last 2 decades, elementary campuses in Fort Bend, in Houston ISD. I know Brazoria County doesn't do it, but Brazoria County don't do a lot of things that other folks do. But just wanted to know if that was something that we would consider, and you gave an answer.
Yeah, when I inquired at Region 4 with other superintendents, I know they said they did not, schools were not recommended for early voting at all, because schools are in session, right? And so, and again, as I explained in my email over the weekend, my lengthy email to you all.
It was a dissertation. I must
I'm
give you a
sorry.
degree.
But I wanted to make sure you had all the information. It's since the safety and security has become, with House Bill 33 and things you'll see, our grants coming up, it's really become a safety that we can't control who shows up to vote, and of course, we can't prevent people from coming, so
That's appropriate.
thank you.
Thank you.
All right, then, we have.
I have a comment.
Yes, ma'am, sorry.
I just wanted to comment and say, there is some voter disparity there, and I 100% agree that it's not our responsibility as a school district, but I would say it is the county's responsibility, and the county should be providing additional voting locations for the residents of the area 100%. But again, just to piggyback or just to, share the sentiment with Superintendent Nelson, it's not our responsibility. It's the county's responsibility, and they should be responsible for the lack of voting locations, for the obvious.
Well, I know growing up, I voted at the fire station all the time, so I don't know, every area has a fire station. Why fire stations aren't?
Absolutely. There are a lot of options that are outside of schools that we can navigate. And that's just me, right, without working for the county. But there are obviously locations that are available and accessible to the residents that have a lack of voting locations. So
And one of the things we heard from the clerk as relates to the Manville Annex being moved was because of the lack of parking. And so I look at the nearest fire station on 58, right next to Savannah Lakes Elementary. There's a lack of parking there. Well, you can park in the elementary school and walk over, but there are some ADA issues with that. And so depending on what part of the district you are in, there's different facilities. And like I say, I've lived in that area for 6 years. I know the facilities. I know what's available. And the clear-cut options in that neck of woods would either be the county facility on Croy Road and 58, elementary schools such as Don Jeter, Lakes of Savannah, or Savannah Lakes. Pomona is kind of nestled in, or Rodale Palms, outside of a Catholic church on 48 or some local churches. And so it is their responsibility. Hopefully, they'll be more responsive of outreaching. But if they asked, I just wanted to know what would our response be to ensure that our residents can. I was late to this meeting, leaving my home. As you know, our meetings are up an hour from last year, and then I got stuck at a train to get here at 5:30 or 6. And so if it's hard for a trustee to get to a board meeting, imagine how hard it is for working families to get to a poll from 8 to 5 when they have kid responsibilities. So with that, we can vote.
And I share that I'm so glad that Trustee Robeson has done his research and understands where those locations could possibly be. But I just want to close it out with, that's their responsibility. They should know where the locations are. That's what they get. That's what they're elected to do. Do your.
Go to a county meeting and complain to them.
Absolutely, absolutely. That the county is responsible. They're
your comments.
They're your elected officials there.
Yep. Thank you for your comments. Then, all in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Number 11 on the agenda is the request to consider approval of county-wide joint election and approval of joint contract for election services.
The board, the joint contract for election services with Brazoria County for conducting May 2nd, 2026 joint election is being presented for approval. Alvin ISD has conducted its elections with the county for many years, and it has proven to be an efficient process.
All right. I will entertain a motion for the board to approve a countywide joint election to be conducted by Brazoria County.
I move to approve the countywide joint election to be conducted by Brazoria County.
Thank you, Trustee Humbard for the first. Is there a second?
A second.
Thank you, Trustee Sweeney. All right. Is there any discussion? All right, then hearing none. We have a first by Trustee Humbard and a second by Trustee Sweeney. All in favor for the board to approve a countywide joint election to be conducted by Brazoria County. Motion carries 7-0. Number 12 on the agenda is the request to consider approval of federal single audit certificate of board.
So board, at the November 2025 Alvin ISD board meeting, the board received the presentation of our annual audit from Weaver LLC regarding our fiscal year 2024-2025 audit, as well as a draft of the federal single audit At the same meeting, the board approved the audit. At that time, it was noted that due to our federal government shutdown, TEA and auditing firms had not yet received the standard from the Office of Management and Budget Compliance Supplement, which is issued annually and outlines requirements for the federal single audit. The OMB Compliance Supplement was subsequently issued, and the auditing procedures utilized for Alvin ISD's federal single audit were conducted in accordance with this guidance. This sequence of events resulted in an additional step requiring the board's acknowledgement and acceptance of the single audit following the issuance of the compliance supplement. As such, the board is asked to affirm that they have received, reviewed, and accept the federal single audit.
Thank you. I will entertain a motion for the board to approve the certificate of board as presented.
I approve that the board approve, I move that the board approve the
hard one to
certificate
get out.
of board as presented.
Yes,
Tongue
ma'am.
twister there.
Thank you for that first. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, trustee Garza. So I have a first by trustee Sweeney and a second by trustee Garza. Is there any discussion or questions? Hearing none, then all in favor for the board to approve the certificate of board as presented. Motion carries 7-0. Number 13 is a request to consider approval of resolution to approve actions to address needs due to the inclement weather closure.
So Board, as you know, on January 26th, we had to close due to the freeze. So the resolution attached will allow for our district to compensate all employees equitably and without interruption.
Thank you. I will entertain a motion for the Board of Trustees to approve the resolution as written.
I move that we approve the resolution as written.
Thank you, trustee Scott, for that first. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Johnson. So I have a first by trustee Scott and a second by trustee Johnson. Is there any questions or comments? All right, then hearing none, all in favor for the Board of Trustees to approve the resolution as written. Motion carries 7-0. Number 14, request to consider approval of employment of personnel.
So Board attached, you will see some personnel that have been recommended for hire. They're either received their certification or filling a current opening.
Okay. I will entertain a motion for the board to approve the requested personnel items as presented.
I move that we approve, that approval be granted for the requested personnel items as presented.
Thank you, trustee Humbert. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Who wants to do it?
I'll second it.
Trustee Garza, okay. All right, is there any discussion? All right, then, all in favor for the board to approve the requested personnel items as presented? Motion carries 7-0. All right, number 15, request to consider approval of assistant principal for Alvin Junior High.
So Board, this has been an opening, but we've had an intern filling in, and she has finished all of her work and received her certification. So we are recommending that Miss Lauren Chance be named the assistant principal at Alvin Junior High. Lauren has extensive experience in secondary education, currently serving as the assistant principal intern with Alvin ISD. Prior to this role, she worked as a social studies instructional coach at Harvey Junior High for 4 years, where she supported curriculum implementation, teacher development, and instructional improvement. Earlier in her career, Lauren served 2 years as a social studies teacher and a coach at Harvey Junior High School, gaining valuable classroom and leadership experience that laid the foundation for her continued growth in educational leadership. She received her bachelor's degree in business administration from Texas State University and her master's in educational administration from Lamar University. The committee interviewed her and is recommending that I recommend to the board Ms. Chance to assist leading the staff and students as an assistant principal at Alvin Junior High School.
Thank you. I will entertain a motion for the Board of Trustees to approve Lauren Chance as an Alvin Junior High assistant principal.
I move we approve Ms. Lauren Chance as assistant principal at Alvin Junior High.
Thank you for that first. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, trustee Roberson. All right, we have a first and a second by our trustee Humbert and Roberson. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, then all in favor for approving Ms. Lauren Chance as the Alvin Junior High Assistant Principal? Motion carries 7-0.
Ms. Chance. you wanna stand up?
Congratulations.
Right.
You wanna introduce everybody?
Introduce
The
your
kids are
family,
done.
introduce your guest.
All right, so I have my two sleepy boys here. This is Sam, and then that is Jackson. Sam is at Alvin Elementary in second grade, and then Jackson over there is in fifth grade at Alvin Elementary. So, and then I have my husband, Zachary Chance as well.
Congratulations.
My whole work team as well.
Congratulations, Lauren.
ISD graduate and Alvin High School softball player, class of 2012. So Coach Newsom is here. She's raising that fist in the back. Okay, next on the agenda is closed executive session. I'm going to read each item, and then we'll go into executive session. Please note that we may be coming back, well, we will come back in open session, and we may be taking action. The first one, pursuant to Texas Government Code Sections 551.071 and 551.129, consultation with school attorney regarding potential litigation and possible settlement of claims concerning a 504 student. B, pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.0821, deliberation concerning a public school student wherein personally identifiable information will be necessarily revealed. C, pursuant to Texas Government Code Chapter 551.072, discussion of purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property. And finally, D, pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.074, discussion regarding superintendent retirement and superintendent search. It is now 7:40, and we will be we will be going into executive session.
Ms. Chance, if you'll stay and get pictures. All right, thank you.
back into executive session at 9:48 PM. Let me get to this first one first. There are, where'd it go? 504. Yeah, let me get to it. Okay, the agenda item that we have is and it is, so this is in regards to the closed executive session. This is our action that we're coming out to take. The agenda item is a request to consider and take possible action regarding potential litigation concerning a 504 student. Let me get my pen here, please. Okay. I will entertain a motion for the board to accept the recommendation of the superintendent of schools and the school district's attorney and direct the superintendent and the school district's attorney to proceed as discussed in closed session regarding settlement of claims and potential litigation concerning a 504 student.
I move that the board accept the recommendation of the superintendent of schools and the school district's attorney and direct the superintendent and school district's attorney to proceed as discussed in closed session regarding the settlement of claims and potential litigation concerning a 504 student.
Thank you, Mr. Garza, for that first. Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you, Trustee Sweeney. So we have a first and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, then all in favor of the board accepting the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, school district's attorney, and directs the superintendent and the school district's attorney to proceed as discussed in closed session regarding the settlement of claims and potential litigation concerning a 504 student. Motion carries 7-0. All right, so that one's done. The next one is the request to consider approval and acceptance of retirement of Carol Nelson, Alvin ISD superintendent.
I move that the board accepts Superintendent Carol Nelson's retirement and approve the voluntary retirement agreement.
All right, I have a first by Trustee Roberson. Is there a second? A second by Trustee Scott. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor to accept Superintendent Nelson letter of retirement and her voluntary separation agreement?
Retirement
Agreement, thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much for that change. Okay, so we've got that. All in favor? Motion carries 7-0.
We have voted no?
Well, yeah.
Thank you, Board.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
It's been my honor,
Yes, ma'am.
and I'll continue to serve
Yes, ma'am.
until it's over.
Okay, executive session item C, request to consider approval of the process for the hiring of the superintendent of schools for Alvin ISD.
I move that the board select TASB Executive Search Services to conduct the superintendent search.
All right, thank you, Mr. Roberson. Is there a second?
I'll second. Oh, no, AJ, go ahead.
Thank you, Trustee Johnson. Is
Beat
there
you,
any
Gabe.
do what?
Beat you, Gabe.
Oh, my gosh, it's late, y'all. It's almost 10 o'clock now. Is there any discussion?
No.
All right, then all in favor of, Brian, say it again, please.
All in favor of the board selecting TASB Executive Search Services to conduct the superintendent search?
Yes, sir, thank you very much. All in favor? Motion carries 7-0. All right, y'all, last thing, adjournment. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Adjourn.
Thank you, Trustee Humbert. Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you, Trustee Sweeney. All in favor of adjournment? Motion carries. Corey, get your hand up, 7-0.
He was out the door.
I think we just broke Alvin ISD.